Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. At G&E TV, we pay lots of attention to our life. We pay lots of attention to things that are happening around us. So we're talking right now in the whole world as a village. We're living in the global village. Anywhere anything happens that takes our concern. We all know that something happened to one of Malaysian Airline. That's a flight MH330, 370 flight. The aircraft is being Boeing 777-200 on way to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur went missing. So for 3 days already, people kind of worried so much about it. There is speculation from all angles, but we're not talking about speculations. We're talking about humanity, right? Today, joining me in the humanity discussion regarding civil aviation is my good friend, retired captain of former United Airline. He is now the CEO of the Air Consulting Agency Expert.com, right? So, welcome, Captain, to the show.
My pleasure, Jack.
All right. I know the people of your background must have the right to say that it is my business. I know that area, right? So before we talk about the incident itself, though, can we get some little understanding about your own background, please?
Sure. I flew commercially for the airlines for 40 years.
Wow.
I'm now retired, and I had the pleasure during my 40-year airline career to fly basically all over the world. China was one of the biggest markets, obviously, and, and I enjoyed going to China for many years.
How many hours together have you flown, been airborne?
About 30,000 hours.
About 30,000 hours.
30,000 hours,
right,
yeah.
Good. You know what 30,000 hours look to me?
It seems like a lifetime.
Like lifetime
for me, I think
already,
it was,
right?
yeah. I was 20 years old when I started.
And also looks to me that people that who has been to many places, who travel, well-traveled, the most traveled knows the most.
That is correct. And perhaps with me excluded, I never really opened my eyes that well. But I noticed everybody who travels a lot know a lot more. You meet different people, you meet different cultures, and somehow you get more educated in humanity.
Yeah, of course.
You spoke about that. The more different people you meet, the more comfortable you get in interacting with other humans.
Exactly. And for my audience information, prior to this show, I had this opportunity to have a nice conversation with the Captain Amear. Captain Amear. He is one of the very few person that has the full size of love to life, full size of respect to people, because he traveled so much, because he has seen lots of sides of the world. So Captain Russ Amear is one of the guys that shares the common sense we share here as East-West, right? Okay, now, well, you know what, somebody's disaster might be other people's nothing. But to us, anybody's disaster is our disaster.
Absolutely.
Right. So
family of human beings. We're all family.
Yeah. Just to think about 239 people, each single one of them is a human life.
Human life, and they have their own friends and family. So you're talking about a lot of lives.
Oh, yeah, very good. That's a big loss. That's big chunk of wound, right?
Absolutely.
So from your professional point of view, though, And I hate to speculate what happened, whatever, because there are lots of different speculations of all kinds. So
Yeah.
I'm only hanging to hope, right? So do we still have hope?
Obviously, I personally don't lose hope all the time. I'm hoping that some miracle will happen and we'll find this airplane. Obviously, you don't want to lose hope so early in the game. Although every day that passes, it kind of takes away some of that hope.
Every single hour counts.
Every single hour counts. Yeah. If those folks are in the middle of some ocean in rafts or in some jungle, you obviously want to get to them as soon as possible.
Yes, of course. In your career, though, have you been flowing that water?
Yes, I have.
From where to where?
From Singapore to China.
Oh,
so
I see.
you're basically very close to the proposed
The same route, right?
proposed route as we were talking earlier. The route of flight changes according to the weather and winds, but it's very similar, very close to that route.
I see,
Yes,
I see.
I have actually flown that route.
What kind of characters of that kind of route, considering the land, the jungle, water, and the land, so on and so forth?
And it's all of the above. As you know, the topography in that area, when you take off from Malaysia, you basically go over the Gulf of Thailand, which is a fairly shallow water in comparison to a deep ocean. If I'm not mistaken, Gulf of Thailand is probably 50 to 60 meters deep.
I see.
Shallow
water compared to the ocean. Right?
Correct. And then once you get northbound, you will enter Vietnamese airspace and perhaps Cambodia.
I see.
Which, as you know, in that part, southern part, there are very dense jungles. So this route, as it was planned, would have taken off from Malaysia, from Kuala Lumpur, going basically north east towards the Gulf of Thailand.
I see.
And then over for perhaps an hour or so, and then you get back on land again over Vietnam.
I see. So comparatively, if you were flying from across the Pacific, though, that's an easier flight.
Certainly, because you're only over inaccessible water or jungle for relatively short time.
I see.
Versus when you're flying in the Pacific, you're there for 10, 12 hours.
I see. Have you yourself flown a Boeing 777?
Yes,
You
I
did?
have. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one, huh?
Yeah.
And it's a wide airplane?
It's a wide body. The 777 is a great airplane. Funny enough, United Airlines, my former employer, was the launch customer for 777.
I see.
In other words, we were the first airline that ordered that aircraft from Boeing, and they had a lot of input at that time.
I see.
To how the aircraft was manufactured. So I was lucky to fly that airplane when we first got it at United for a couple of years. And it was a great airplane, even though the one I flew is the older version of it. They now have newer version. This particular airplane, the Malaysian airplane, was a 777-200 LR. LR stands for long range.
I see.
And I believe it was only about 12 years old. So it's in the life of an airliner, it's almost a new airplane.
Oh, I see.
Airliners are designed for 30, 40, sometimes 50 years of operation.
As a young man.
So this was a young man.
A young man.
Or a young lady. We refer to
or a young lady.
As ladies.
I see.
So it was relatively new. I understand it had been involved in a ground accident at several years past, where the wingtip hit in a structure, and there were some damages to the wing,
Uh-huh.
but those are usually fixed very thoroughly by the manufacturer sometimes. There are some speculations that that accident may have weakened the wing, but those are just
the wing
unconfirmed.
structures, yeah,
Wing structure.
unconfirmed, anyway.
Those are unconfirmed. Because we don't know anything about this crash right now, people are grasping at any type of idea or speculation. And hopefully we don't want to get into any speculations because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
We're not that type. And back to my audiences, today is one of the discussions we wish we didn't have to, but from the education point of view, we really have to learn something about this whole area, which I knew nothing about. I told Captain I knew nothing about 5 feet above ground. That's it. Right? So let's take a short moment now. When we come back, please join me in the discussion with Captain Amear. He is the former captain of United Airline. Also, he's the CEO of aeroconsultingexpert.com. Right. So stay with us. We'll be right back.